Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a Chevy Silverado. We've been servicing for 2 years. We do the maintenance every 2 weeks with this vehicle. It's the only vehicle in our cycle that we do every 2 weeks. I'm gonna show you some interior tips and tricks, so stick around. All right guys, so this vehicle we actually service every 2 weeks. It has the graphene spray coating on it, so we're not adding any additional protection to it, but I do add the Dream Maker to it to give it a little bit more pop and just to amplify the gloss. So this goes on nice and smooth. It's easy, it's workable in any weather conditions, and it gives it just a nice pop. It's not gonna provide any protection, but we don't need any protection because this guy has already been polished with Uno. It has the graphene spray coating on it already. It's extremely smooth. So all we do is give it a little bit of pop as a gloss enhancer. And as you can see, this vehicle is in great condition. We keep it nice and glossy for them. We've been servicing this vehicle since they bought it 2 years ago.
Hey Joel, so what's the first thing you want to show us, man?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you guys is how to do floor mats with most maintenance vehicles. If you're maintaining a vehicle that's, some people do the maintenance every 1 week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every month, depending on how many people are in the vehicle and how often the vehicle is used. There's easy, simple ways to take care of the floor mats so you're not spending a bunch of time. You don't have to rinse them down with the pressure washer every time. You don't have to do heavy scrubbing. I'm going to show you guys a quick, easy way here. Here, I just pulled these out. You can see there's very light, there's no spills. They really don't drink in the vehicle, but you have just light dusting. What I do is I grab a dry brush, make sure it's dry. And what I do is I just knock all this stuff off, out of the edges, out of the corners. So all that stuff's gone now. There'll be a few left. Then next thing I do, I'm gonna hit it with some O&R. You can use a light degreaser. You could even use an interior cleaner. Give it a quick wipe. Flip the towel over. Get it nice and dried out. You got a clean mat now. Throw that back in.
That's it?
Good to go, that's it.
Now, that's what, plastic mat or?
Yeah, this is actually gonna be a rubber mat.
Rubber mat.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's plastic, I know there's carpet.
Yes.
Would this method work on plastic and carpet or?
It would definitely work on plastic depending on how coarse the actual the material is itself. Sometimes you may have to go in there, but you could even go in there with a Tornador and get some things out of those edges. But also with carpeting, sometimes a drill brush will do the work. All you gotta do is drill it out real quick, hit it with the spray of your finisher, clean it up, toss it back in. All right guys, so that's my methods for maintenance floor mats. If you guys have a method you want to share, go ahead, leave it in the comments below.
Hey Joel, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
I see you took out the car seat, but one thing you don't do is put it back, right?
Yes, I don't put the car seat back in. I don't strap, I don't reattach any car seats because now you're putting the liability in your hands. You don't want that. If anything happens to the child, if anything happens to the car seat while the vehicle is driving, you never want to be the last person to have touched this car seat. So what I do is I always put the car seat in an area where it's apparent that it's not strapped in. I'll put it maybe on the floor in the vehicle. If it's an SUV, I'll put it in the cargo area, or I'll just turn the car seat completely around in a odd direction, maybe sideways and in the middle, so they know that it's not strapped in, because I let the client restrap it back in because I don't want any liability on my end. I've never had any accidents, and this is the reason why I do it, because I don't want any accidents. So I recommend anybody out there that's pulling car seats out to make sure that you're not, you're letting the client know ahead of time, hey, we'll remove the car seat, but we are not placing it back in, and we are not going to be locking it back in. So
you've never had customers be like, hey, Can you put it in for me?
No.
Strap it? Never?
No.
You always let them know?
Yeah, and I would deny them if they did.
All right, Joel, another tip I would like to hear from you is,
Yes.
you have a member now, you have a partner.
Yes.
Does that help with the interior, and how do you balance those jobs?
Yes, we have an order of operations which actually works really great to where we're constantly moving, and there's certain steps that need to get done, and we have found a way to do it with no interference. So there's never a lacking of tools, there's never a lacking of energy supply. You know, some people will be doing like 3 or 4 things at once, and then they're, oh, I don't have enough power, I don't have you know, like my generator keeps going out because I'm trying to use the Tornador, the vacuum, the steamer, you know, all these things at once. We have a system to where the order of operations, certain things are done in order, and it's super efficient, it gets done in time, and we basically are rotating back through to where there's no issues.
Hey, Joel, so let's just say there's somebody out there who wants to hire somebody, but they don't know how to train. What quick advice can you give them?
I give them the advice of, you know, take it, be very patient with it, with you, whoever you're onboarding. Also make sure that you're working at their pace at the beginning, and then you kind of adjust to get them to your pace. But always have them learning. You know, the more that you train them, you don't want to bombard them, but you do want to train them with something new. You know, it might be something new a day, something new, you know, weekly. But if you bombard them, they're going to be overwhelmed. They're not going to work as efficiently. If you have them do a few tasks at once, they perfect those, then you add additional ones. That's the most effective way of training for me. And then obviously side by side, and then following up to make sure that they're working to your expectations. But if you guys have any more questions when it comes to training and development, or just onboarding, you know, go ahead and reach me on the consulting line, and we can get into depth on your specific business and how to be more effective for you. All right, guys, as you know, when you're on site with a vehicle and you're working, sometimes you're in a cluttered space, sometimes you don't have room to pull, you know, all of your stuff out. You know, you may not be able to pull out all your ladders, you may not be able to pull out all your tables, whatever you have. Here's a great tip if you're working on an SUV, if you're working on a truck, if you're working on anything that has a cargo area, utilize the vehicle itself. Here with the floor mats, I'm gonna pull the floor mats out of the vehicle, and I'm gonna work on this surface here. So I have a nice working surface for me. I'm not taking up any more additional space. As you can see, I don't have my table out. This is a maintenance vehicle. I don't want to be pulling out stuff that's gonna be more time consuming for me. Utilize what you have in front of you, guys. Easy tip right here. Gives you a nice little workspace. I'm out of Sal's way, and you know, it's effective. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you guys how to utilize the same materials for numerous tasks. So the first task that we did was we cleaned out these floor mats here, and I used the larger nap side to get through and to grab all the stuff on the edges. So now that we're finished up with the floor mats, I'm gonna flip this towel inside out and then fold it into 4s. So now I have a clean side of a towel with a shorter nap. So I have 4 sides now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm gonna do with this guy is I'm gonna use this for my tire shine. These towels are reserved for grimier work. So this side is completely clean, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray a small amount on it here. I use towels to apply just so I can have a little bit more control. And I'm gonna go in and apply my tire shine. So same towel, 2 different uses, saving me time, saving me effort. These towels are also going to be, these are from the Rag Company. They're going to be linked in my description below.
Hey, Joel, so you mentioned towels.
Yes.
How many different types of towels or towels for different jobs should a beginner detailer have?
A beginning detailer, I would say minimum 3. I would do 3. I would have one for super grimy work. You know, if you're cleaning wheels, if you're cleaning engines, you know, even wheel wells, things like that. I would have one for the exterior, just for the painted surfaces, and then I'd have some for the interiors, you know, and then of course your drying towels.
Hey everybody, you guys got a lot of tips from Joel today. I'm gonna give you guys some tips on the windows. Over here we have paint prep, and then we have our Rag Company Pearl towels. Split them in 4s, and we're gonna saturate this towel. we're gonna oversaturate it. When we oversaturate it, what this is gonna do, this is gonna help break down any dirt and grime stuck to the windows. So us oversaturating it, it's just gonna break down all that stuff a lot quicker. All wet, we're gonna apply it to the whole window. Make sure you have your dry towel ready to go. Dry towel. What this does, you guys don't like streaks, none of us like streaks. This makes the streaks so much better to come out, and also with all the grime come out, all the dirt.
Hey Joel, so you're pretty much done with the car. What are the finishing touches you do to make sure the customer is happy with the detail?
All right, so we actually have a whole category of finishers. So I have a specialty interior detailer that I go through if needed. This will cover up any kind of scratches on the plastic, maybe the feet area, the hardware where the seats screw into the floor itself. Obviously the windows, we have a peroxide finisher that we spray on carpet and upholstery. And then also, you know, just doing the walkthrough of the exterior, making sure that, you know, you've either bead maked or dream maked of the painted surfaces, make sure that you didn't miss any areas, the tips of the exhaust, the rims, all of those small little things. And then, you know, of course, the last thing we do, the final thing is the windows to make sure that those are on point. So that's how we finish up each vehicle and each detail.
Do you contact the customer to come out? Do you send pictures? How do you do that?
With new clients, especially if it's a big turnaround or if there's something that they specifically called us up to take care of, like if there was cigarette odors, if there was you know, something that we were, you know, maybe heavy stain removal, paint correction, things like that, I always want to bring the client out so they can actually see the difference. And I'll actually bring them out midway through the detail as well so they can see the progression, and then I'll bring them out at the very end so they can kind of see exactly what the finished detail looks like. So if it's something like this, a maintenance, we're usually in and out. We don't bring them out for anything like this unless there was something that they specifically wanted. But for normal detailers, I do like to bring for normal details, I do like to bring the client out and show them, you know, walk them through, let them know exactly what we've done, and, you know, let them know that every surface has been protected. You know, if we restored the trim, black trim, or if there's any complimentary services that we threw in, I also like to, you know, kind of go over that as well. All right, well, there you guys have it. We just finished up on the maintenance detail here, gave you some interior tips and tricks. If you guys have any interior tips and tricks, whether it be windows, floor mats, tires, exhaust tips, or finishers, go ahead and leave a comment below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you guys on the next one.